Do your swatches lie? Hello and welcome to KnitChats Tips and Tricks 2024. My name is Jessica and today I'm going to show you some tips that I've learned along the way on swatching. This particular swatch I cast on months ago, long before I actually intended to cast on for my cardigan. Much like the sweater that I'm wearing now, I cast on this swatch when I had no intention of actually casting on for the sweater. This takes the pressure off of me because I get really excited when I want to cast on. So what I chose to do is go from a different angle this time and cast on for this swatch when there was no pressure on me. There was no excitement, there was no nervous tension. And it's been a way that I have found that my swatches are true. So let me show you what I did with this first swatch on this second swatch. Let's take it to the table and we're going to get some measurements before blocking and then after blocking. And while I'm knitting this cardigan, I will know what its finished measurements are going to be. Let's go. Okay, so we've made it to the table. Here is my lovely swatch. I've put a white tray underneath my swatch so that you can see all the details that I need you to see. What I've done is I've used a size US 7, which is 4.5 millimeter needle. And I know this because I put 7 holes toward the top before I bound off my swatch. Now with my swatch, I have no edges. Well, I have edges, but what I mean to say is I don't have garter edges or anything special. If you want to do some sort of an edge to prevent your swatch from curling, I recommend, if it's a stockinette stitch swatch, I recommend using seed stitch because garter stitch is tighter in the rows and it'll scrunch up on the edges. That will distort the measurements that you get on your swatch. We're going to begin by marking the first stitch and lining the ruler up with the very edge of the stitch. Now be careful that when you take your stitch counts that you don't press on your ruler. It'll distort your counts. Take 3 different stitch counts over 4 inches along the swatch in various places. Later, we're going to find the average of these stitches. I keep getting 17. This has never happened to me before. Now take 3 different row counts for your swatch throughout various places in the swatch. We're going to treat this just like we did with the stitch counts and we'll average them later. Oddly enough, this swatch seems to be a perfect square and I've literally never had this happen before. Now it's time for spa treatment. Now just take your stitch counts and row counts just like we did before. After you've gotten all of your stitch counts, we're going to go ahead and average the numbers. You add each of the 3 numbers together and then you divide by 3 because you're adding 3 numbers together. That's how you find your average. The average you get before blocking is for your knitting gauge. The average that you get after blocking is for your finished gauge. Then you can know as you knit what your finished gauge will be. Happy knitting!